Okay, I am back. This is going to be the second part of my little video diptych on spiritual anesthesia. And this is going to be real short, I believe. I'm just going to read you something. This is the transcript of a radio broadcast made by Paul Harvey in 1965. He's a legendary radio commentator, and I actually read this for the first time today, and it just grabbed me by the hair and wouldn't let go. This is incredibly important, I think. So I just want to be clear, this is a transcript from Paul Harvey. I didn't write it. It's not mine. I don't own it. I'm not making money, blah, 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 okay? So, in the light of the previous conversations you and I have been having about spiritual anesthesia and the devil trying to make people think he doesn't exist. Okay, here we go. It's short, so hang in there. April 3rd, 1965. If I were the devil, if I were the Prince of Darkness, I would, of course, want to engulf the whole earth in darkness. I would have 1/3 of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I would not be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I should set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I would begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you, as I whispered to Eve, "Do as you please. Do as you please." To the young, I would whisper, "The Bible is a myth." I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what is bad is good, and what is good is square. In the ears of the young marrieds, I would whisper that work is debasing, that cocktail parties are good for you. I would caution them not to be extreme in religion, in patriotism, in moral conduct, and the old, I would teach to pray. I would teach them to say after me, "Our Father, which art in Washington." If I were the devil, I'd educate authors how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I would threaten television with dirtier movies, and vice versa. And then, if I were the devil, I'd get organized. I would infiltrate unions and urge more loafing, less work, because idle hands usually work for me. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction, and tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects but neglect to discipline emotions, to let those run wild. I would designate an atheist to front for me before the highest courts in the land, and I would get preachers to say, "She's right." With flattery and promises of power, I could get the courts to rule what I construe as against God and in favor of pornography, and thus I would evict God from the courthouse, and then from the schoolhouse, then from the houses of Congress, and then in his own churches I would substitute psychology for religion. And I would deify science, because that way men would become smart enough to create super weapons, but not wise enough to control them. If I were Satan, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg, and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. If I were the devil, I would take from those who have, and I would give to those who wanted, until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious, and then my police state would force everybody back to work. Then I could separate families, putting children in uniform, women in coal mines, and objectors in slave camps. In other words, if I were Satan, I'd just keep doing what he's doing. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. That's all I got. God be with you.